Natty or not? This is the perennial question in the fitness community. Anytime someone, even outside of the fitness industry, gets popular and is relatively muscular, this question immediately pops up. And this question seems to cause a lot of controversy as well. Now, there are actually a lot of people who claim that this is all just completely useless and that we shouldn't care. And I mean, yeah, they're kind of right, but I actually do think that it is interesting and it does answer one important question, that being, how far can the human body be pushed naturally? A lot of people don't want to take steroids due to health concerns, so giving them some sort of metric for what's possible without taking steroids, even if they can't do it, just what is the human limit to muscle gain without steroids, is just an interesting question. So that's personally why I find it interesting. There's also the fact that like, you know, if they're claiming to be natural and they're not natural, then they seem very disingenuous. So I think there's two levels to it, but the first one is why I am making this video. I'm gonna go over some people that people presume are natural and just move on from there. It's basically impossible to tell with 100% certainty if someone is natural or not, so I'll just leave the decision to you. I'm gonna show the data, I'm gonna show the people, you know, give some information about them, and I'll let you decide for yourself. I'm probably gonna miss some people, and you guys can let me know in the comments who I miss and who you think is natural, and you know, it'll be a very civilized time, I'm sure. Someone that basically everyone agrees is natural is the Silver Age bodybuilders, most famously Steve Reeves. The belief is that anabolic steroids weren't created at the time that he was relevant, so then people see this as the sort of peak of natural bodybuilding. Because assumedly we would be able to confirm with 100% certainty that it would be literally impossible for him to take drugs, and yet he looks like this, and you know, frankly, he does look very aesthetic. He's got good arms, good lats, a defined midsection. You know, 99% of people would be very impressed with this physique. But that clearly isn't the peak of bodybuilding, right? Because there is a much larger sample size of bodybuilders now, or just physiques in general now, compared to the 1950s, which is when I believe Steve Reeves was relevant. We have a sample size of people not only in the US, but throughout the entire world. We have a sample size of people of all different body types and all different races and ethnicities and all different genetics. So while Steve Reeves is a good standard, he certainly isn't the limit. And now we're going to go over some famous people whom everyone basically presumes is or was natural, either due to the transformation they made after going on steroids or just because everyone just kind of thinks that they're natural for whatever reason. First, we have Quentin Beast Mode. This guy got really popular because Greg Doucet made a video on him, saying he had the best genetics in the world. And the reason we could be sure that he, at least at some point, was natural was because he made a huge transformation after he took steroids, after he claimed that he took steroids. And he looked like a complete monster before he ended up taking steroids, before he allegedly took steroids. So, you know, very impressive, very impressive. The next person here who everyone just kind of assumes is natural is Jeff Nippard. Jeff Nippard has a very in-depth understanding of muscular anatomy and, you know, just the science of building muscle in general. Looking at his mother, he also just seems to have really good genetics. And so this is why I think everyone kind of just assumes that Jeff Nippard is natural. He has really good lifts on top of this, and I mean, he just kind of looks like a bear, but like a lean bear, if that makes any sense. Although there has been points in his career where he has trimmed down a lot of body fat, and he's competed in natural shows before a very long time ago. I believe it was like maybe 2015 or something when he competed in natural shows. So yeah, that's Jeff Nippard. He might be the peak of natural aesthetics, although, I mean, there's a lot of other people we need to go to. Let's go to them first. Next up is Greg Doucet pre-steroids. And there isn't really much to say here. I mean, here's him posing. I believe he was about 175 pounds and he's, I believe, 5'6", so there are his stats. So yeah, I mean, very, very good physique. And so the last person I want to talk about in this section is a little bit more tame. It's Christian Guzman. He has a very aesthetic and athletic looking build, I would say. I don't think that he actually claims to be natural, but everyone just assumes that he's natural for whatever reason. So yeah, there he is. The next tier here is people who look extremely questionable, or people who everyone assumes is like has an extremely questionable physique, but they've been drug tested, so do with that what you will. The first person here is Russell Orhii. Now, a lot of people didn't think Russell Orhii was natural, but I think when Greg Doucet retracted his own Natty or Not, because he did a video on Russell Orhii before where he said that he wasn't natural, and then he got some more information from Russell, and then he changed his mind. He's like, yeah, this guy's natural. And Greg is kind of the holy grail of Natty or Not. That's not what I'm saying, but it's just kind of what the fitness community has just accepted. If Greg says someone is natural, then they are seen by the community as natural. And if Greg says someone is on steroids, then they're seen by the community to be on steroids, or performance enhancing drugs to be more specific. I think I've done it a few times now, but you know, when I say steroids, I mean performance enhancing drugs. I just don't say performance enhancing drugs all the time. Maybe I'm just too lazy, maybe it's too many syllables, but you know, when I say steroids, I mean performance enhancing drugs. Now the next person is Joshua Munoz. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. This is sort of the opposite situation of Russell Orhii, in which everyone kind of thinks that he's unnatural because Greg said he was unnatural, but he does have a drug test. And More Plays More Dates hasn't made a video on it or anything, but you know, he does have a drug test, and you know, a lot of people don't really know this, but I mean, yeah, he looks like a complete freak, and if I'm being honest, he looks extremely muscular and extremely well conditioned. Very, very incredible physique, and he does have a drug test saying he's natural, and so yeah, I mean, believe it if you want. That's just another person I thought would want to get out there, and you know, he might be the peak of, you know, the so-called peak of, you know, like the human genetic limit. The next person here is Nasami Yang. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. It's weird because he's Nigerian and I'm also Nigerian, but for some reason I can't pronounce his name. I guess I've just been colonized too much. I'm just gonna call him Nasami. Hopefully that's correct. Yeah, this guy is a complete freak as well. He's also been drug tested in a lot of different natural federations. So, you know, take for that what it is. Take for that what it is. He has a lot of also really interesting fitness advice. Some of it seems really shady, like borderline Chef Rush type of shady, but like he says that he sleeps 2 or 3 hours a day, and then when he wakes up he does like 500 push-ups. I mean, that waking up and doing 500 push-ups I can believe, but you know, sleeping 2-3 hours a day, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe he's being honest. He does have a lot of, I think, like overall he does have, you know, pretty good fitness advice and pretty unique fitness advice and just being a stronger human. I think he's worth listening to overall. But anyway, crazy physique. Let's get on to the next person, who is Tyron Beckham. He also seems kind of shady, but I believe he is trying to get into the NFL, or he's making some kind of push to get into the NFL. He's Odell Beckham's cousin, I believe, so you know, he has very good genetics for that. I believe he played rugby as well. He has a really good physique, and he's broken in commercial gyms, he's broken like a bunch of powerlifting records or something. He says he doesn't want to compete just because he doesn't want to compete, which is kind of Chad. Like, you know, man, I just don't feel like competing. You know, I can break all these records, but I just don't feel like actually officially doing it. That's kind of Chad. I don't know. He has been drug tested, and More Plays More Dates made a video on that if you want to check it out. So yeah, that's him. Next up, we have Ronnie Coleman pre-drugs, which he claimed that he took drugs in 1991. And this is what he looked like when he claimed natural. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of breaking the rules here because I don't think he was actually drug tested at this point. But, you know, he does end up looking a lot bigger later on, so take this for what it is. Maybe all the IFBB pro winners, Mr. Olympias, would look like this if they were natural. That's what, you know, a lot of natty defenders tend to say. People who defend a lot of natural bodybuilders, they say that, you know, if all these IFBB pros were natural, all these Mr. Olympias were natural, this is what they would look like. And if you take Ronnie Coleman's word for it, then Ronnie may be proof of that, proof of their defense. The next person here looks like a complete unit. It's Kwame Dua. This guy is probably the biggest person I'm going to talk about. He is just a complete, utter monster. But he has been tested. I mean, there was a video of him getting tested that went pretty viral a long time ago. It's a pretty entertaining video, if I'm being honest. Like, this guy randomly walks up to him and says, "I want your urine right now." It's pretty entertaining. And I believe More Plays More Dates made a video on that, so you guys can check that out if you want to know more on his drug test results and his natty status. Oh wait, the actual last person in this tier now is Kubila Fitness. This guy has created his own, African at-home gym made from like different rocks and different substances that he found in nature. And yeah, he looks like a monster. He lives in Ghana, so, whether he can obtain performance-enhancing drugs or not, that's up for you to decide. But yeah, he looks like a freak. Let me know in the comments below though, who do you think has the best physique out of everyone I'm talking about? Anyways, now we're gonna get into the people whom a lot of people presume that they're not natural, and I'm just gonna go over them. Alright, so first person here we have Mike Thurston. This guy is incredibly aesthetic, but basically everyone just kind of says that he's like the #1 fake natural. #1 fake natural next to the next person I'm going to talk about, who is Simian Panda. What is there to be said about him that hasn't already been said? I mean, you either believe he's natural by now or you don't. Next is Mattdoesfitness, and he also looks like a freak. I believe he is trying to get drug tested now, so maybe things will change in the future with him. But for now, basically no one believes he's natural. And now, sort of in the same tier as Simian Panda, we have Mike O'Hearn. Again, I have nothing to say. If you think he's natural, then he's natural. If you don't think he's natural, then he's not natural. The next one in here is Diesel Josh, and this guy is a complete monster. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to really say. He's a complete monster. Natty or not, this guy's a freak. And yeah, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know who you think is the peak of human genetics, who has the peak physique with the best human genetics. Maybe if this video does well, I could give my own opinion on who I think is natural or not. I'm just giving out the information in this video. So yeah, let me guys know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Alright, peace.